Hari Om, good evening, a very warm welcome to all of you. Please come, let's pray together. Sato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord, the Almighty, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, and the Omnipresent, together we all offer our Sastanga pranams to you, to seek your mercy, your grace, your blessings, your love, your compassion, your strength. O Lord, please bestow upon us the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya, only and only to understand thy true nature. Bless us that at the end of our lives we reach your holy feet. Om Tat Sat. Today we are on our Divine Discourse number 273, the 25th of March 2022, Plavanama Samvatsar Uttarayan, Shishira Rutu, Falguna Mas Krishna Paksha, Ashtami Mula Nakshatra, Varyan Yoge Balavakarane. On this auspicious day of Friday and the time of the evening, we make a firm resolve in our minds. Na ham karta hari karta, hari preranaya, hari prityartam. All that we experience in our lives, all that comes to us in our lives, be it through a person, object, incident, circumstance, situation, O Lord, all that is thy divine blessing towards me, I completely accept it. And I know that you are doing this to lift me from this ocean of birth and death. I completely surrender, accept, and live in total harmony and understanding. Om Tat Sat. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara. Hari Om everybody. A very warm welcome. Good evening. Yes. So today we are on the 25th discourse on Tattva Bodha. I think this would be the penultimate discourse on Tattva Bodha. Today we'll try to finish the various types of karma, and then in the next, which will be the final discourse, we'll be knowing what is the result of this knowledge, this supreme knowledge. So that way we shall, and also during the next discourse I'll take a recap and of the entire text at one go, so that you will have a macro picture as well. Okay. So now, what is this law of karma? See, till our last class, what we could understand was this Jnani who eventually was able to realize himself. Now, every sadhak, we all are sadhaks. As far as we are on this path of spirituality, or as far as we are with steadfastness with respect to our sadhana, there is no doubt. One day or the other, we have to realize. Like as a mother, if she is pregnant, so she'll be counting her months, her weeks, one after the other, as far as she is taking care of her health, and as far as she is looking after her, a child which is growing in her womb. So one day or the other she has to deliver. In the same way, this knowledge also. Now if God has chosen us, and if He has been giving us this knowledge incessantly, and what is the amount of dedication we are seeing with our sadhaks here? Enormous amount of dedication. So with this, I wonder many a times, will there be anybody else who is more eligible than we as a group of sadhaks here? So, in this scenario, a person who is realized, now we should not forget that the law of karma is also bound to such a jiva or to such a realized person. Now, what are the various types of karma? And how this realized person, now the emphasis and focus in this particular text is given to a realized person, but I will also modulate and tell you how it is for an unrealized person as well. Okay. So now like there's an engineer, he's constructing a building. Now when he's making a plan, he needs to understand the basic laws of gravity first. Without understanding the laws of gravity, he cannot even move one step forward in terms of designing his building. Like as we all know, the 3 laws of Newton. So in the first law, he said an object will not change its motion unless a force acts on it. Likewise, the second law and the third law. Now, these laws are important for our existence on this planet. But we are not talking of our life which is only restricted to this planet, or to this life, or to this situation where we are only up to the point we are living. No, that's not the end of the journey. This life is just a page in a voluminous book with thousands and thousands of pages. It's a voluminous series of books. So this life is only one page. Now how all this is happening? So let's try to understand this. So firstly, karma. Okay. The meaning of karma is in the intention. Let's be very clear about this. You have an intent to achieve something. So that's why we get into action. Kriyate iti karma. Kriyate means what you do, that becomes your karma. And whatever you do, you are always having an intention. So the intention behind action is what matters according to the Gita. They say that is karma. That binds you. If you do any action without any intention, then it becomes a nishkama karma that releases you from the bondage of the karmic cycle. So first is karma. What you do is karma. Okay, with intention. Now, this word karma comes from the root known as kra. And what that means is karayate iti karma. Meaning this karma not only when an action is done is called as karma, but it also creates some causes. It gives rise to some causes. Now what are those causes? Now those causes are, they talk of in terms of papa and punya. So likewise, now there are about 3 principles which we have to understand karma. So we are going very methodically. Let's understand threadbare, slice by slice, how this karma is done. So once you know where you are stuck, if you have a map of the entire place where you are stuck, then you can find a way out. You know how I can get out of this place. But if you don't know the geography of the place where you are stuck, then you are only making attempt to push yourself through various corners. Okay. So now the first principle, remember, as we said, a deliberate action with a willful intention, that amounts to karma. Okay. Now, when one action is done, there are 2 results. One is a drishta phalam. Drishta means you can see. And there is one more phala which is known as adrishta. Drishta is visible. Adrishta is invisible. Example. Somebody is hungry. You gave him food. Now, when you give that hungry person food, he gobbles it because he's very hungry. He starts gobbling, and finally at one stage, he feels contented. You can see that contentment in his face, that thankfulness in his face, and that is a drishta phalam, meaning the fruit what you got was, you saw that person contented. But what the law says is, it does not stop at this. There is one more phala or fruit which is known as invisible, which is known as adrishta, invisible. And now, who keeps an account of this invisible? The cosmic karmic law keeps an account of this invisible phala. Same way, now you have done something wrong. Let's say you cheated somebody. If you have cheated somebody, you may see that your bank balance increased, or the money which you had has increased. So that is a visible form where you see that you got a result of that cheating. But there again, there is an invisible phala which amounts to negative points which go in your favorable. So this adrishtam can also be said when you do something good, it is known as su-adrishtam, means good karma. And when you do something bad, it is also known as duradrishtam. Now, this su-adrishtam gives you punya and duradrishtam gives you papa. So you know how it has come to this stage now. So from karma and action, visible and invisible. I made a chart. Once I finish these three principles, then I'll take you through the chart and we'll revise with the chart. You'll be able to understand it well. So action, visible, invisible, and in invisible you have good adrashtam and duradrashtam. Okay, so which result in papa and punya. Now, what is the second principle? What is the basis of this karma? Now, I may think that I'm doing something good, and I do that. For me, it sounds good because it's not only me, but I see several people around me doing that, and I go by it. So here, what the Lord says is, karma, whatever is produced on the lines of Shastra, only that is known as Sukarma, good karma. And what is Shastra? Shasanat iti Shastra means that which guides. That is Shastra. So that's the reason they always say you need to have a guru in your life. It could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your teacher, but who has the knowledge of Shastra. Because Shastra is that which guides. Now, if you are in, say, India, you will have to follow the code of conduct in India. You cannot use some other country's code of conduct in this country. So in the same way, when we are in this creation of this Lord, He says, my Shastra, this manual for life, this scriptural injunction, that will take you on the right path. So if anyway scriptures are prohibiting, you should ensure that you don't do that particular karma. Now there are certain aspects which are not there in the Shastras, like say for example, usage of internet, let's say. Now this usage of internet is nowhere mentioned in the Shastras because at that time internet issue was not there. Or you can say traveling by train or traveling by plane, all this is not there in the internet, in the Shastras. So there, what matters is our motive, our intention. Are we trying to do something good out of this? Like you're using the internet, you're using it for something productive, or you're using for something non-productive. So this way, the Shastras become a guideline for your action. This is the second principle. Now, there is one more, which is the third principle, which talks about the conversion time of this karma result into fruit. So they say all invisible punyam or papam in due course will be converted into visible sukham and dukkham. Meaning, adrushta punyam will become drishta sukham. Understand this. Now we are talking about invisible punya. How did punya come? Because you did a good action. So this invisible punya will result in a drishta sukham, meaning it will give you an happiness which is visible to you, which is evident to you. And in the same way, adrishta papam results in a drushta dukkham. This is the third principle. What has been adrishta, be it papa or punya, the first principle, that eventually in the third principle they say it becomes drishta. Adrishta invisible, drishta is visible. Punya becomes sukham, papa becomes dukkham. So now the duration is not uniform. This is the rule. These are just dictums, these are rules. You can't question why is it like this. So there is no uniformity in terms of its delivering you the fruit. It may come tomorrow, it may come the same day, it may come next year, it may come next decade, or it may even come in your next janma or subsequent janmas also. And there are some punyams which give you immediate sukham and some which are delayed. A small example for this. Let's say you plant some seeds. You take some tomato seeds, papaya, mango, coconut, and you plant them on the same soil, in the same climatic condition. Now, don't you see that a tomato can actually, less than a month, it can give you the fruit. A papaya may take a year and a half. A mango may take maybe 3 to 5 years. A coconut can take anywhere between 18 to 20 years. Now, in the same climatic condition, you sowed different seeds and they all gave you a result at various points of time. So, in the same way, karmas which you have done, they fructify at their own pace. You don't have a choice or you don't have a say in that. So, this punya, papa may or may not fructify even in this life. In this very life, it may not. Sometimes only papam can fructify, or sometimes only punyam also can fructify. We may be able to escape the law of the land. Like there are so many criminals who have escaped. Even till today, they are not available to the specific government. But nobody can escape the cosmic law. So in this way, this karma, it takes you to repeated cycle of births and deaths. Now exactly understand where we are coming from. Action done in some life has come today. Action done today may come to us in some futuristic life. We don't know. So this is one very important fundamental aspect for all of us to understand, that karma will fructify at various points of time in life. Okay, so these three karmic principles we understood. Now I'll just show you the chart and then we'll move forward. So first you can see karma, kriyate iti karma. What action you do, that is karma. From karma comes karma phala, which is karayati iti karma, meaning it is the cause for certain results. And what are those results? You have drishta, visible, on the left hand side, and we have adrishta, which is invisible, on the right hand side. Drishta, I gave an example. You feed somebody, you see contentment on his face. You hurt somebody, you see sorrow and distress on their face. So that is drishta, very much visible. But as you do a good or a wrong deed, you also have adrishta, meaning invisible karmic credit or debit to your account. Under adrishta, you have su-adrishta, good deed, and from good deed, you get punya, and from punya, you get drishta sukha. Drishta sukha means you feel happiness. Something good starts happening to you in your life. You feel that happiness, you can see that happiness. So that becomes the result of your punya, which is drishta sukha. On the other side, you have duradrishta, which is bad result of your karma. Now that eventually is papa, and from papa you get drishta dukkha, you get pain, misery, unfulfillment. All these come from papa. So in this way, now what they are trying to tell us is, you are under the cover of this particular cosmic rules of the universe. No one can escape this, and understanding this, now one has to lead a life. Now they explain to us, remember, what kind of karmas are there? Yes, they say there are three types of the results of action, meaning based on the karmas what we have done, broadly they are segmented into three types. Okay, we'll just go by the text. So, what are the three types? Karmani kati vidhani santiti chet agami sanchita prarabdhena trividhani santi. Here they say there are three kinds of karmas, and the three kinds of karma are agami, sanchita and prarabdha. Now we are going to go one by one. What are these three? Because only understanding the basic principles of karma will not help. You should also understand what is the karma which you have done in the past, where it is, how it is, and how can I take care of that karma. That is also extremely important, isn't it? So now that is what is going to be explained in the next slide. Agami karma. Jnanotpatyanantaram jnani deha kritam punya papa rupam karma yad asti tad agami iti abhidhiyate. Now here they say, after the dawn of knowledge, now we are talking with respect to the jnani, a realized person. After the dawn of knowledge, meaning after he has realized himself, whatever is done by the body of such a realized master. So the papa and punya, the actions which are giving you papa and punya, because even a realized master is living his life. So he must be doing punya, and there are some papa which is doing, not deliberate papa types. Like for example, even while breathing, you are breathing so many bacteria, and many bacteria hurt. While walking, you may be stamping on so many insects, which you are literally killing them. So these kind of papa, he says, what happens to that? And so the result of actions, good or bad, performed by the body of a realized soul after the dawn of knowledge are known as agami. Now, even with respect to an unrealized soul also, all actions which we are doing today, every moment we are doing actions. Now, every moment, remember the principle. Your action becomes drishta and adrishta. And there you have papa and punya. And a result of that you have sukha and dukkha. So now all drishta you experience here, adrishta gets credited and debited to your account. Now where and how, we will study that. So in this way, this realized person who has a proper understanding that he is functioning within this body, mind and senses conglomerate, he is completely aware of that and is functioning accordingly. So even animals, we should understand there are some more rules to this. Animals also are identified with their body as we are identified with our body, but they do not have a sense of doership. Meaning, as we have an intention of doing something, that is known as doership. We are bound by the law of karma, but the entire animal kingdom, they do not have a sense of doership. See, these are all some new enlightening points for us. They have no choice in action. They are all governed by instincts, which is completely programmed by Prakriti. That's why you can see one of the strongest and basic instinct is of, let's say, mating. Now you must have seen animals, they only mate in a very specific period of the year. Rest of the time they don't, because they are governed by the instincts. They're all completely monitored. So, but a man, a human, he has the liberty to be in a sense of doership. He can do anything he wants at any point of time. So like they say, kartum sakyam, meaning he may do kartum sakyam. Akartum sakyam, he may not do. Or Anyata va kartum sakyam. He may do otherwise also. He may do, he may not do, or he may do completely in some other way also. So this way, amongst the humans, a jnani who has not identified by his body, who has no sense of doership, although he appears to be doing so many actions in his life, he is doing it from the point of view of that pure consciousness. Understand this carefully, because we have to move to the next stage. Now I'll explain this with much more detail. When we say I in our life, just a sec, I'll come on screen. When we say I, we all say, no, I come, I go, I'm talking, I'm listening, I'm hearing. Now, there are three types of I. Literally, if you see. What are these three types? Now, this will give you that enlightening knowledge of where you need to be. Where an ordinary person is, where a sadhak is, and where a realized master is. Please understand this carefully. To an ordinary person, the first I, who is identified with his body, mind, as just any ordinary person. You ask him who you are, he'll say, I'm so-and-so person, my name is so-and-so, and he'll talk about his body features, his caste, his religion, his family, his relationship, and he'll talk about his Aadhaar card. That becomes his complete identification, who is totally identified with the body-mind. Now, such a person, he has a fair understanding that there is something present in me, because he sees people dying. Why am I alive and why others are not alive? He said, because I know there is some jiva in me, some life principle operating in me. So, with this, what happens? He has some understanding that yes, I am this person and there is life in me, and he goes on with that. He doesn't know anything beyond that. Look at our own selves or people whom we know, who hardly know anything what is about Atma, Paramatma. They don't know much. They know there is God. He is somewhere in the temple. And here and now and then I understand that he is within us also. That's all something which they have understood. Okay. So this is the first I. Commoner. Now there is a second and a third I. In the second I, you have a fair understanding that I am this Jivatma operating in a reflected consciousness. Chidabhasa, what we discussed the other day. I am operating here. Where is it coming? Now Paramatma, the sun. Me, the bucket, which is the body. The reflecting media is the mind. As the sun reflects on the water which is in the bucket, and with that light as the bucket enlightens. So in the same way, my jiva, I am operating in this jiva which is created within this deha which is created by the Lord, and I am in this reflected consciousness. So this is the second stage. But this is still you have not realized at this stage. There is a third stage where a jnani says that he is nothing but the pure Atma. He is the sun, not the reflected consciousness. So now the jnani operates in the second and the third mode. How? When he is operating in the world, he knows that I am in the body, mind, and he operates knowing very well that he is none other than the pure consciousness. Meaning there is no I over here. He is completely got rid of that I. That false ego, that false notion of that I is completely out of his mind. He knows that he is not this Jivatma. He knows that this Prakriti has created me, it has created the entire world, the entire planetary system, the entire universe. And with that fact, when he is operating, he operates in this world as the reflected consciousness, and when after transaction he is out of it and he remains in the pure consciousness stage, which is the third eye. So likewise, we should understand and remember that there are these three eyes through which we all operate. So the first one, definitely, where it is completely ajnana, no knowledge about Lord at all, about the Paramatma, about the Prakriti, about the Purusha, no knowledge. That doesn't apply to us. The second and third, while operating in the world, we should understand I am operating through the body and mind, which is created by the Lord and which is where the Lord is dwelling within me. And apart from that, you should know that it is one Paramatma who has created this body and was created the entire universe. So we should operate in the second and the third eye. Okay. Now, going back. We are in Agami. Okay. So, such a Jnani, where he has performed all his actions without any intention, no good, no bad, he has completely surrendered himself to the Lord. Whatever is coming to his mind with his knowledge, he is going on acting on those lines. So, because a Jnani does not have the sense of doership, this Agami karma, what you are doing in the, meaning currently, will not generate any papa or punya. This is the meaning of this Agami karma. Now, the next one is the Sanchita karma, which we need to understand. Now, this is the big load which we all are carrying. Sanchitam karma kim. Now, Sanchitam karma kim means the results of action performed in all our previous births, which are in a seed form, and they keep giving rise to endless crores and crores of birth in future. So this accumulated karma, which we have accumulated from several births, now that is known as Sanchita karma. Sanchitam karma kim ananta koti janmaha bijabhutam sat yat karma jatam purvarjitam tishtati tat sanchitam gneyam. Gneyam means understand. So the very root word of Sanchita is chi, which means to collect. See, in any various languages, Sanchi means a bag. So Sanchita means that which is well collected. Now, who has collected this? All the actions of our past, good, bad, all the actions, the adrishta phala. Go back to the principles, drishta and adrishta. The adrishta phala of our previous actions are all collected by this Sanchita karma. Now, this has been where it is like you can compare it to a capital account. Like say you have, in simple terms, you have an FD in the bank. Now that FD will keep giving you interest or dividend, whatever you call it, from time to time. Now that will be known as Prarabdha, which we will be studying in the after Sanchita. Now, if you go on adding more amounts to your FD, that is the Agami. Now, in the case of a realized master, what happened? Since he has forgotten his doership, so no debit or credit is coming to him from the time he has been realized, or he knows what is the truth about this jiva. But there is a Sanchita karma. Now this Sanchita karma, which is that big bag load, it not only, what happens is, for people like us, We have a big backlog, a big load, but as we are doing karmas, more and more karma is adding back to Sanchita karma. That is what we have to understand. So that is the reason we always have been saying Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, Idam Namama, Om Tat Sat. These three things when you say, you are realized or not realized, you will not be adding further to the Sanchita, because you have already offered it at the feet of the Lord. And now what are you asking the Lord by saying these three things? Oh Lord, I am on the path of sadhana towards realization. Please purify my heart and mind, Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. Give me the inclination for this knowledge more and more, and take me on the path towards you. So it is now the Lord's responsibility. He has a rule where he swaps the karma. This karma what you offered, good karma, he takes that good karma and he cleanses your heart. He cleanses your mind. And he makes you grow stronger and stronger on the path of this knowledge. See the kind of glory he has got in his rules. He will ensure that you are on this path. So in this way, this Sanchita karma. So whenever a person has got the right knack of doing actions, like we all have been doing now, he will not only exhaust the ongoing karmic account, but he will start moving towards burning his Sanchita karma. Now how that happens is also explained. So this is Sanchita karma. Collected over several births is Sanchita karma. Now next comes what is Prarabdha karma. Prarabdham karma kimiti chet. Having given birth to this body, the actions which give result in this very life of ours, which, how does the result come? It comes in the form of happiness or sadness, and which can be destroyed only by experiencing. There is no other way. Now this Prarabdha karma is the dividend which comes out of the FD Sanchita karma which you have deposited. Now you have put an FD. So on the due date, whether you are a good person, bad person, whether you want, you don't want, your account is credited with that interest. So this Sanchita karma, what we have gained we have accumulated in the past, that gives out Prarabdha karma, and our current life is nothing but a result of that Sanchita karma. We are again and again when we talk, I keep saying that our punya is fructified. That is the reason we have got all this, is this Prarabdha karma. It is like an arrow which has been shot. It cannot be stopped now. It has gone out of the hands of the shooter and it is in motion. So in the same way, this Prarabdha karma, which is that arrow in motion, now how can you get rid of it? No choice, but you have to experience it. Be it sorrow or be it happiness, you will keep experiencing it. So this is the Prarabdha. Prarabdha means that which has started well. It has started in the right manner. So from that capital account of Sanchita, all the actions which are fructified, they keep coming to you as your Prarabdha karma. So this Prarabdha karma decides where you are going to be born, when you are going to be born, what is your age limit in terms of your lifespan, who are your parents, who is going to be your spouse, who are your siblings. All this is coming out of the Prarabdha karma. Not only this, your Sthula Sharira and your Sukshma Sharira. Sthula means your body, whether you're going to be a male or a female. What is going to be the structure of your body? Are you going to be good looking, medium, or not so good, all the finer details, all that will decide about the personality. Sthula and Sukshma, what is your nature? Are you a lovable person or you are not so likable person? Are you intelligent, mediocre, or a dullard? Are you good in certain things or not so good in certain things? So all this is nothing but a result of your Sanchita karma, which has come out as the Prarabdha karma. This we call as fate and destiny. Generally Prarabdha, hey, this is my fate, this is my destiny, this is my luck or bad luck, whatever we say, this we call, we connote on these lines. Now, we may have no choice in what we get, but we have a choice in the attitude with which we receive it in life. Now, Lord, our Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda, he says, what I get is his gift to me, and what I do with what I get is my gift to him. Like, for example, today we are all, for the last 2 years, we were terribly hit, not one person, one place or one country, it was the whole world which was under the grip of pandemic. Now imagine, this is Prarabdha which came to the entire globe. Now what we did out of this Prarabdha is our Purushartha, our fate. Our Purushartha and free will. Now we have a free will. During this time we could have all the time been complaining, all the time been fighting, all the time been miserable and doing all the wrong things. But what Prarabdha gave to each and every person, some people, they took this Prarabdha and they evolved. They made good of their health. They increased their knowledge. Some developed hobbies, good hobbies. So likewise, what you do with what has come to you, that decides your free will. So now, on this note, now we have to understand what are the advantages of law of karma. Once we understood the rules, now let's understand what are the advantages. Now the first advantage of law of karma is it changes your attitude. It brings in a healthy attitude. How does it bring in a healthy attitude? The first advantage is why there is such a big difference in the entire creation. Some are animals, some are plants, some are insects, creatures. This kind of a thought which we all have. Many times we ask this question, isn't it? Why is such a disparity in this life? Somebody is, even as humans also, somebody is born rich, somebody is born poor. Now, once we accept the law of karma, then we resort to the principle of change. Because here we understand that we are governed by a certain rule, a law, and nobody can change this. Now, as you know from the Sanchita, whatever you got it as Prarabdha. Okay, so the first one is that the law of karma explains the disparity and differences in various living creatures. Now, the second advantage, law of karma helps in accepting the inexplicable sufferings. Each one is suffering in one way or the other. So, I'm not able to accept my problems, and all the time I keep asking, why me? All the time, everything should come to me or what? Is nobody there around? Why is it that everything strikes on me? So, this law of karma helps us in accepting. It knows that yes, I have done something wrong. I am responsible for each and every suffering, which can be of the immediate past action or of some remote past action. So, this second advantage is it helps us in accepting the inexplicable sufferings. Now, and there we also don't blame anyone in this world. We learn to own up to our actions. Why should I blame? I know now how the law of karma is functioning and I accept it. That's all. Third, your faith in God is not shaken if you accept the law of karma. Reason is, you must have seen people. They come up saying, I have lost faith in God. What is this is doing to me? I go to the temple. I've been going to the temple for last so many years religiously. I do so and so seva. I chant so and so mantra. The person starts now telling all that, like when we have a fight with somebody, we say, I did this to you, I did this to you, I did this to you, and they'll tell all the minute things you did to that person, which are not even supposed to be said. Small things also. Now, in the same way, now the person says, I did all this to you, O Lord, and you are one after the other, you are giving me this suffering. Now, once you know the law of karma, you will understand God has got nothing to do on this. It is all my past actions which are giving me the result, and Lord is nowhere in the picture. So your faith towards God, leave alone losing your faith, but you will be able to understand what He is doing. Now in the Mahabharata, it once so happened that Devaki asked Krishna, after she was released from the prison, it was 14 years she was in the prison, and when Kamsa was killed and Lord Krishna comes and he releases her, he says, why Krishna, why did you take so long? You have killed so many demons even when you were a child of a year or two. Then he tells, Mate, you were my mother Kaikeyi when I was Sri Rama. So 14 years I was away from my mother Kausalya. So now in these 14 years I was with Kausalya, who is now reborn as Yashoda, and I gave her whatever she had lost in her past life. And you who were the reason for this, so you had to suffer for 14 years on these lines. So in this way, the law of karma, if you know, come what may, don't blame anybody, blame it on yourself. Now the fourth advantage is, you know all this so well, I can take responsibility of my future. I can change my life. Whatever is happening as per the present situation, which has been of my past action. So you can say that my future situation depends on the present action. And then I will intelligently live in the present moment. And I know that I can influence my future. If not totally control, but I can greatly influence my future. So this attitude, which we call as fatalism, everything you say fate. Arey, it's my fate, it's my fate. Anything comes, you say fate. So this fatalism, what we say, you can get rid of this. Because now you have understood how this karma works, and you will constantly say, I want to do good. Every moment I want to do good. Otherwise, what happens if I don't accept the law of karma? My conclusion and understanding is somebody else is causing this problem to me in the current situation. And if someone else is responsible for my present situation, then definitely someone else will be responsible for my future situation also. So you will get into a deeper mess. So rather you say, I am responsible for my current situation, and I am alone responsible for my future situation also. So this karma, it allows you to take responsibility of your future. Now the fifth advantage. Now this is again, even amongst a lot of youngsters, we see this. You say, they talk about ethics and non-ethics. What they say, this person is such an ethical person, such a nice person. how much he is suffering. All the time he is suffering. We have seen him. So, and they again say, look at the other guy, a scoundrel, a third-rate person. But look at how he is enjoying in his life. Look at his lifestyle. So, this way, now youngsters are, what is this? Now, here when the law of karma is there, so the present ethical person is suffering because of the past unethical action. And the present unethical person is enjoying because of his past ethical action. That's all. Ethical action, it blesses you, and unethical action hurts you. So this is the law of karma. Now, once you have a clear understanding of how this works, then the blame game will stop. Then you bring in that fatalism, always saying fate, fate, fate. No, that stops. He says, I can design my life now. Now, God has given me this situation, that is destiny, prarabdha. But now what I am able to do is, in that given scenario, I am able to use my purushartha. Now remember, purushartha is there only for a human amongst the entire 84 lakh species. Only a human birth has got this. Now he uses that purushartha. And he says, I want to grow. And he follows the Shastra. He follows all the good things. And he says, now I'm going to change my life. And he starts growing. Now who knows when the total surrender is there, as per Lord Krishna himself says that I protect such people. Lord Krishna says, whoever has in this scenario come to me, I will ensure that they cross over. Sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. He says in the 4th chapter, 36th verse, he says, you may be this worst of all the sinners. Seat yourself in the boat of knowledge and cross over the ocean of life and death by surrendering to me. What more you want? So when you have made a firm resolve which is completely on the lines of the scriptures and you have started following, then you see how your life changes. So in this way, now here Jagat Guru Shankaracharya is telling us this is how the karma theory works. And one needs to follow the guidelines. You become responsible for what you're doing. Don't blame on anybody. Yes, you might have done in some life. Forget it. I might have done. It has come. Now what? I'll accept it. And I'm going to change my life. Because I also know if I've done something bad in the past and if it is giving me papa and suffering now, I am definitely going to do good beyond extent. And I also know that will bounce back to me with multifold happiness. So, this is how we need to approach karma. Now, the last one. Now we'll study prarabdha. Just take you to the slide. So this way now the jnani understands that yes, prarabdha has come. Now for such a jnani where prarabdha has come to him, now he is not going to be demotivated or all his body is not cooperating, ill health or his financial condition is not good or his relationship issues, whatever be the situation, he accepts this. It is said it is all out of prarabdha, and then he starts changing his course of life. He is completely neutral to all this. Now, next comes is what happens to the Sanchita karma of a realized master. Now, this is one very important topic. I think we'll take it in the next class. As I told, we all have Sanchita karma. What happens to the Sanchita karma of a realized master? We'll understand this, and that is what also we need to know, that as we move forward on this path, now that is also going to happen to us. That should be our target. So which we'll learn in the next class, next Friday. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. We offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Almighty to seek His grace, mercy and blessings. We meet again on this coming Tuesday for our Bhagavad Gita class. Till then, please keep doing your sadhana to the best extent possible and be the recipient of the Lord's grace, mercy and blessings. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namamah.